So hopefully the first one was okay, because that one's just SOHCAHTOA. So this one is a right triangle, so I can use SOHCAHTOA, I can use Pythagorean theorem to solve this one. So don't forget about right triangles, that you guys know how to solve these already, don't overthink them. So I would probably figure out the third side using Pythagorean theorem. So I would do 4.4 squared plus our b squared equals 11 squared. So I get b is about 10.1. And again, so I didn't have to use any kind of like crazy trig formula for that. Once I know that, then I'm going to find that angle using SOHCAHTOA. Again, when I do this, I try to stick with the numbers that are a little bit more exact. So I'm going to work with the 4.4 and 11. So if this is angle B, this is my hypotenuse, this is my opposite, this is my adjacent. So I'm going to do cosine, because 4.4 and 11, I know those are exact answers. 10.1 is approximate. It'd be fine. You're probably going to get the same answer as me, but I just like it a little bit more better to be a little more exact. So cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then we do the inverse cosine of that to get my angle B, which is 66.4. And then once I know that, I know the other one's 90, and I can take this away from 90. So this is going to be 23.6 over here. And then we found all our sides, all our angles. So don't forget, right triangles do not need to be super difficult. Again, I apologize for the weird word problems that I couldn't even read. So first time through this book, and just probably need to do a better job of looking through and making sure I understand. But this next one is side angle side. So that tells me I'm going to use law of cosines. I'm going to find little b first again here, because of the fact that I have those two sides around that angle. Yikes. Hopefully you're okay with what numbers everything is. So this is, again, one of the ones I like to put in my calculator. I can put the whole thing in, don't have to worry about, as long as I know how to enter it correctly. Which I messed something up. I didn't do cosine of 63. I just did 63. All right. So b squared is this 859. I'm going to take the square root of that answer. So I get 23.3 for side B. So 23.3 for that side. No, 29.3. Thank you. 29.3. I said it like multiple times and was wrong all those times. Great. 29.3. I was like looking at the drawing, I'm like, that doesn't make sense, so I'm glad you spoke up. Thank you. So 29.3. Once I know that, then I can do law of sines to find either of the other two angles. So at this point now, I'm going to do like sine of A goes with that 27. And then this sine of 63 is going to go with my 29.3 angle, or 29.3 side. And again, I have to cross multiply. I'm going to end up doing the inverse sine of this whole thing. And I got like 55.2 for my angle, for angle A. And then once I know that, then I can find the third angle because they add up to 180. So it's starting to feel a little bit better. You don't have to like it, it's just you're not lost anymore, hopefully. So again, I'm going to give you guys a few like this on your homework tonight, or yeah, one of each kind. So hopefully you can have some more confidence with that. Then I want to talk about these exact values. Now a couple of them are radians. When you guys do the radian ones, do you typically just change it over to degrees? Or are you guys okay with working with radians? I'm assuming you switch them over to degrees. Yeah, that's what I always did until I was like super comfortable with radian measures, like, you know, like taught it a bunch of times, like I don't need to switch them back, but I would understand if you're not comfortable with that. So we multiply with pi on the bottom because I want to switch it, get rid of the pi's. So does that become 450?
Yep.
Yeah. So we're doing tangent of 450. So we're already a little bit difficult because first of all we had to switch it to that, and then 450 is a pretty big angle, so that's kind of confusing. So I go around, that's 360. How much more do I have to go? 90 more. So I'm actually right here. So this is 0, 1. So you can zoom around the circle a bunch of times. 450 is going to be right on that axis. And again, we talked about this just a minute ago. It's sine over cosine, or essentially y over x. Think of almost like rise over run. And so it'd be 1 over 0. So this would be undefined. So again, if I did tangent of 450 in my calculator, it's going to give me a domain error. It's not a defined value for us. Our next one, so cosine of 330. So 270 is here. 330 is 360 would be all the way, so we're 30 degrees short of that. So in this case, I have a 30, 60, 90 triangle, but the 30-degree angle is my reference angle. So 30 is the kind of the important reference angle there. So when I go to set this up, my 1 is actually this opposite. I go down 1 because that's the short side. So that's going to be a negative 1 because I'm going down. I'm going out to the right, square root of 3, but that's positive. And the hypotenuse is always positive, and that's going to be 2 in any 30, 60, 90. So if I want to do the cosine, that's adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's just going to be square root of 3 over 2. And then finally, the sine of negative 5 pi over 4. Great, so let's switch it out of radians. It's still going to be negative. So it's going to be sine of negative 225. All right. So a negative angle, a little bit confusing. So we go negative 180, we're here. Now past 180, I don't go all the way to 270, I go 45 past 180. So this is going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle over there. So this is going to be negative 1, that's positive 1, and then square root of 2. Now sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So from the 45-degree angle, the opposite is 1. The hypotenuse is square root of 2. But I can't leave it that way. So we have to do that square root of 2 thing where I get that out of the denominator. Oops. being squared at 2 over 2. And it's positive because we're going up versus going, we're not worried about the left because that's our opposite side. All right, I'm hoping this is feeling a little bit better. I'm going to give you guys a homework assignment, but I'm just going to have you do the front. It's just talking about the warm-up problems that we've had. So 1 through 8, just on the front side here. I think I updated Schoology that way. So we're not learning anything new. Please hang on to these notes so we will learn something new eventually. And then you just kind of communicate with me tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Would you and Maria maybe be willing to go get the costumes we used from Mrs. Anderson and take them out of the gym and put them back in her room?
I think
The office told me they did.
Oh, I can go.
So the uniforms, the costumes we had for the pep rally, I think we have to go get those back to Mrs. Anderson. I think they're on the table by by the boys' locker room.
Okay.
If they're not, then we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, they're trying to clean things. It's hard to clean up when I'm not